Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming for another edition of our creative workshop. Um, Today, we are going to be talking about how to improve your Instagram photography. I thought ago, he actually came into our cafe and started doing food photography. And I was like, whoa, man, your stuff is super awesome. Would you like to do a workshop over here? So some of the stuff that he's been shooting, you can see it during the exhibition that is around the cafe. And so here we are. So I just wanted to go through a couple of admin things. If it's your first time in Bali Praia, because a lot of people ask where the bathroom is. So the bathroom's at the back. And if you like any food or drinks or anything so that we don't interrupt the presentation, just raise your hand up and then someone will attend to you. So without further ado, please welcome Faruq.
Hello everyone. Check, check. Before that, I would like to introduce myself first. My name is Faruq Adib. My Indonesian friends usually call me Adib, but my foreigner friends usually call me Faruq. I don't know why, because I think Faruq is much more easier for foreigner friends. I think so. And I did photography 9 years ago, and mostly I learned all of my photography is from YouTube, and now here we go to the presentations. Before we go to the presentations, how to improve your Instagram photography, like I would like to let you know that Instagram is like a community for me. I grew up in Instagrams and got followers and got a lot of job from Instagram. So I want to thanks a lot of for Instagram for that. 1 second. Sorry. And yes, Instagram is a community for people for sharing their photos. Like I did a lot. I met a lot of people from here, and Instagram is not only for business, and you can share from friends to friends how to take good photos and stuff from there. That's why I become like this, because from 2013 I play Instagram a lot and then travel a lot because of Instagram. And after that, like uh, Instagram is the place to share the place to share your photos, your stories for yourself. And in Instagram you need to define your style. How That's how to make your style is different from the others. Like how to make yourself unique. I did a lot of food photographies, and I did a lot of editorial shot also, and I did a lot of landscape, but that's before now. And for photograph, mostly for photography, I did a lot from YouTube, because I think the most import the most valuable site is now is YouTube. And then until now I never stopped to learn about photography from YouTube. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can learn from there, mostly from for technique like ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. Sorry. Ah. The first thing first, before you start your photography, you need to understand your own camera, because I did uh, my photography first at the first time is for with iPhone only, because before 2014 I didn't have a camera, so I did a lot of shooting only with my iPhone. And then after that, because I understand my iPhone, and then I know how to make good photos with iPhone only. And after that, you can use iPhone. So you need to understand your camera, because there's a lot of brands and stuff. So if you have whatever camera that you use, you need to understand everything in it. And after you take photos, the most important thing is you need to understand the compositions of the photography, how to how to tell, uh, how to make your picture. Sorry, uh, how? Don't be like that lah. This is my first time, so I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. In English. And cropping and compositions. So before, like after we take photos with our phone or iPhone or whatever camera that you use, like we how to place our object, like how to we want to tell our stories. It's like that's how you post. How to you make the compositions, and after that you make the cropping, because like uh, cropping is important. If it's not, if you are not placing your object in the right direction or right angles, it will not be not powerful image. That's why you need to understand about cropping and composition before that. But for me myself, photography is like more about communications, communication to your clients, to your audience, and to your friends, or to your everyone who looks at your pictures. That's the important part, because like photography is not only about yourself, it's not about only the photographers. Photographers need to do like communicate to the models, to the stylists, and to whatever. So communication is like the most important thing, I think. And communications is not only from you to, so that's why communications is very important. After that, so this is like the Instagram photography, like after you define your style, and then you need to know what account you need to follow, because like some people's like follow like a lot of bad accounts, I think, like accounts that's not important for themselves, because like it makes you lack of inspirations. And then after that, I usually like unfollow my friends because like they have bad photos, I'm sorry. And after that, how to make your how to make your pictures like pop up in the Instagram is like you need to use hashtag and share it to people. So because like a lot of people's like following hashtag right now. And after that, how to collaborate, because like photography is not only for one man only, like photography is not only for you, but for more other people, like for the makeup artists, for models, and there you can find a lot of people to collaborate in Instagram. And after that, you need to use application to edit it, because like if you only shoot in raw files and never edit it, uh, that will not create a mood. Because like the mood usually comes from the colors, and that needs an application to edit it. Okay. As you know before, like there is a lot of style in Instagram photography. So at the first time, like you need to define your own style. What kind of style you want to make on your Instagram. So after you know what do you want to make, what kind of style that you want, you can follow the people that you are, that you really like you want to be like that styles. For me myself, this is like the fifth five of my inspirations: Fatik, Michael Pondak, Michal Pudelka, Elizaveta Porodina, and Alias Albi. They are like more, yeah, fashion style photographer, and I really love them because like most of my work like inspired by them. And after that, like you need to know what kind of hashtag that you need to use in Instagram photography, because like if not, the your pictures will not be pop up. And then yeah, this is like some hashtag that I use, because like even if like the hashtag is like it seems silly, but sometimes I get job from like this. But that's why you need always to put the hashtag on your Instagram. And this is the most important thing, like I think, like because at the first time, like I never did like a lot of fashion shoot before in Bali, and the people doesn't know how to collaborate. So at the first time when and, don't laugh. And after 1 month in Bali or 2 months in Bali, like I try to make like my own format to invite people to collaborate for me to collaborate with me, and then I text them via Instagram, and then like they give like a lot of positive impressions. Like most of the people in Bali, I think like it's very open to collaborate, and like with collaboration you get more followers and more, what do we call it, more creative. And this is my, I'm sorry, this is my kind of like introductions for me to the models, and then invite them like to the collaboration. And then yes, you can see that like it's easy, like it's just, I think people just doesn't do it a lot because like I think they just shy and they are not brave enough to take the model first. And after that, like after after that, like after we collaborate with people and shoot photos, we use applications to edit. Like, so usually I use these applications to edit. But yeah, uh, I think I think. Wait 1 second. I think thank you. No, I mean like the applications to edit. Like there's a lot of people to ask me what kind of application to edit and stuff. Like mostly like if sometimes only for the phone I use like Fisco because like easy to use and very fast. Like a lot of filters there, so you don't need to do editing. Like everything needs to be done like with Fisco only. But mostly like I did a lot of Photoshop works, but it's only for big size image, like for editorial stuff and for work. And I think that's all for these sessions. And maybe there's, you guys have questions. I know I know it's, I think it's a little bit weird for this presentation because I think like this is my first time here and doing some presentation in English, and I think I would like to know more about what do you want to know. You can ask me questions because I think it will be nice if it will be more a sharing session, I think. Oh yeah. Yeah, before like do you, okay, before you want to create a pictures like the pictures that I want to make there, like you need to create a mood board at first because like how to create a mood board at first, like that's defined by your styles, and then after that usually I uh, compile a lot of pictures from the photographers that, sorry, uh, for my inspiration, and then put it on one page. And after that, after you make a mood board, that's the pictures that you will create. And then after that, yes, you do it. And that's how you, if you cannot make it, like you cannot have a makeup artist. You need to do it again because like if you fail at once and just do it again, I think, well, making like a create successful mood board, I think there's no such thing like successful because I think like it depends on by the audience who see the pictures later in the end, I think. But I think the most easiest way, I did it a lot of with Pinterest, and after the Pinterest you compile it to one pictures in Photoshop, and after that usually that's what I send to my models and my makeup artists to understand. I think like that. That's for the mood board. Is there any other questions?
What camera did you use now, and what's your favorite editing application. Thank you.
What's your name?
Anya.
Anya, like before I have a camera, I only use my iPhone 4, and then after that I use Canon 60D, and after that Nikon D81, 810, sorry, and after that Nikon D75, 750, and then after that now Sony A7R2 with 2470 lens. And my favorite application to edit is still Photoshop, because like when you edit it with Lightroom, it compress some of the colors. So I think it will be very different when you open a raw files on Lightroom and open a raw files on Photoshop. And so that's why I think I still love Photoshop. And the the great thing about Photoshop is it can use LUTs for video. So you can import a lot for video to Photoshop to create a filter too also. So I think that. Yes. Okay, okay. Sorry, sorry.
So hi, I'm Chris. Um, so these photos we see here on the walls, yeah, you did the editing on your phones, or you downloaded the file to your laptop or computer and you edited it there?
Oh, mostly like I did it like on the Photoshop, because like mostly like all of this like is
On your laptop.
yes on on my laptop on Photoshop, because like I like, because this pictures is like for print, so I did edit it on Photoshop. If it's only for Instagram, I will did it on Instagram on phone sometimes.
My name is Veronica, and I have two questions. So, do you use any apps for editing your Insta stories?
Oh, I do a lot. Like for Insta stories, uh, there's a lot of good application now. Like for your Insta stories. Wait, where is my phone? I need to check it, because like I have a lot of in my phone. Usually, like for making like a vintage video, I did with 8 millimeter. If you ever heard, but to make a business Insta stories like for shop or stuff, I did it with, what do we call it? Apa Grace namanya? Oh yeah, yeah. Insta stories and Made, Mojo, and Story. Like there's a lot of applications for your stories.
Can you send me a screenshot, please?
Yes, I will send it to you, Veronica.
And as well, I wanted to ask you, how does it works with online magazines right now? Like, submit application to them. At first, you come up with mood board, and then like you submit a mood board. After that, you find the model and so on, or you just like have already pictures like the concept, and after that, you submit it to the online magazine.
There, the how do I? So the two ways that you tell me is right. There's nothing wrong about that. Like there's one like the shot that we did, like I did like for the magazine that they told me like what's the concept, and then I did it after they make like the presentations or the mood board, or we have the ideas, we did the photos, and we submit to the magazine. So but mostly like for online magazines, because like they need a lot of content right now, like, so yes, it's, you can only send submission if they like it, and they will get it. But the most important thing I think is the link to the magazine. If you get, you know, the editor, your pictures can be inside the magazine. I think it's like that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Gimana ya? Sorry.
Sorry, I have a question.
Yes.
Normally, when you do these photo shoots, what do you take with you to set necessarily? Like on set, you take just your camera and the models and the clothing? When
What?
you take the photos, do you take any objects with you? For example, with the to make the shadows and to
Yes.
yeah. What do you take with you?
Can you repeat one more time?
What equipment do you use?
I have a lot of equipment actually. Like I have my own wardrobe, so usually that's the problem for the photographer, for fashion photographer. They usually don't want to buy stuff. Like, but I did. Like, mostly like I buy the fish or I buy something. Like I buy the clothes or I buy the pants because like I just want to create like pictures. Like mostly, but usually use things that something around you like this. It's like gantungan apa ya? Yeah, yeah, make a shadows from Bohemian, yeah, dream catchers, and just
Okay.
like you can hold it, and then after that, like that, or you can use just flowers, a cup of coffee, and then fish on the market, 25K only, and yeah, a lot of stuff. I think you can use like because like sometimes like uh, the stuff that you think is not beautiful when you took it to photography it will be different because like you have your own visions for the photography like you want to make. Okay, thank you.
So would you say that because you were talking a lot about mood boards,
Yes.
and is your process that you would take the mood boards and then try to recreate those photos? Because I mean that's kind of like the end goal, right? It's like a vision of what you are trying to create.
Yes.
So that's my first question, and then the second question, which I think Ario also brought up, you talked a lot about like techniques and all that, but because we're pulling up your Instagram, is there any like particular do's and don'ts that you could teach everyone on making sure you're making like effective photography?
Okay, thank you so much. The first question is like for the mood board, like don't recreate the things that you inspired you. If you have like inspirations, like I did for the examples, like the pictures with the fish is like I did it because like I inspired by another photographer like who did it uh, with a bird, but I did it with a fish. Just like change everything. Like you don't need to do recreate the pictures what from what you see. So if something inspires you, you can do and like change a little bit things, and then after that, that will be yours. I think, and it's not a fault too. Also, if you create things that similar to the others, it's not a problem. I think it's not about copy paste because like you just want to create. It's different model, different makeup artists, and different styles. I think. And for the second question,
No, as we're pulling up your Instagram and you talked a lot about techniques, so maybe just give us some do's, some three maybe do's and maybe don'ts on what makes like an effective photography. Is there like any formula that I mean I can see from your photos there's so many different type of photos that you make.
yes.
But maybe there's something in terms of technique that you can teach people on what makes like an effective photography. Yeah.
Okay, so in photography is actually there's nothing right or there is nothing wrong. So you can do whatever you like for photographies. In photography itself, like you just like need to communicate. I think only to communicate to the models and to the stuff. So how to create your own pictures. But if in technical, if the very first thing that you need to understand is like you need to understand your camera, like the ISO, aperture, and shutter speed. If you already understand like the basic of your camera and how to make like pictures with the right exposure, after that, the picture is already good actually. If you get the picture is right, and after that, you can edit it like just only for the mood or uh, anything else, because like I think like the most important thing is like to understand your camera, and after that you just shoot if you understand it, and just do a lot of works, like try again and try again, because I think like some of my friend is just lack of ambition, I think, because like they just after they make good pictures and they don't want to do it again, and then yes, something just like that. But in this kind of era is like very fast, and people needs to do a lot of things in fast pace, so you need to create everything a lot, like because you cannot just stay still with your these pictures maybe only long last for 2 months only, I think, and after that they will go down, and after that you need to create another image, like create your another creativity, because like there's a lot of photographers right now in here. So yes, just try to create and like improve your styles and improve yourself by doing more. I think it's that.
Cool. Any other questions?
Is there any question, guys?
Gak ada yang dari belakang situ.
Malu-malu. Yes, yes.
Selamat malam.
Good night.
Saya Haikal. Sorry pakai bahasa Indonesia. Dalam salah satu foto itu apakah ada secret message-nya nggak? Atau ada hal yang pengen di pesan yang diungkapin di sana?
Jawabnya bahasa Indonesia, bahasa Inggris.
Bahasa Inggris aja.
Bahasa Indonesia dulu ya. Kalau misalnya untuk beberapa foto tuh kayak sebenarnya ada yang mungkin ada pesan tersembunyi di balik itu, tapi kebanyakan sih sebenarnya rata-rata enggak, karena mostly like karena aku kerja di industri image yang cepat sekarang ini, jadinya kayak kita create image itu tuh jadinya cuma create image yang beautiful, it's not about the stories. So I will tell it in English now, because like some of my pictures like they have their own stories like to create, if and usually it comes like inside my mind and then I make it, and but maybe I can only do pictures like that is only once in a month, but mostly like in this like face era of digital, like I only did a lot of beautiful pictures like you saw, because like in this digital era you cannot be slow and just create beautiful image, like creating beautiful image like now is very easy, because every camera now is very good, and like you just need to understand it, and then after that everything will be good on your Instagram actually, even if it's only with your phone. And the most important thing is back at it again, it's about the stories, but usually I did it once in a month. I think the first pictures beside you, the woman with the apple, I tell stories about the Eve. Yes, I think I have it here. Yeah. Okay. So that one is, it's a stories about Eve. Like Eve is like Adam's wife, and yes, if she ate apples, and she is the first sin of humanity. That's how I create that, and then the others, there is no story about it, but the other is only the girls who screaming. Well, I make it because like I did it when I'm angry because like I am angry at someone before and I just want to tell it tell it out loud, and then yes, I told the model to do that and then to create that kind of pictures. I think it's just like that. Mm, okay.
Hi Adib, my
Hello.
name is Romi.
Yes, I know, Romy.
Okay, so we have been friends like I don't know how many years, but there's one thing that I didn't know a long time. Why you choose photography? Why? That's only the question. Thank you.
Thank you, Romy. Very nice questions. Why I choose photography for my career path is I told you I told you where what is my basic art before. Like I graduate from electrical engineering university, and after I graduate, I choose to move to Bali because I want to chase my dream as a photographer. But why I choose as a photographer is I think like I like to see beautiful things around the world. So uh, when I came to Bali, like there's a lot of people around here. Like so, I want to meet a lot of people, so, and I want to make a lot of friends. Then, and I think Bali is one of the place that where I can meet a lot of different people, like from not only from Indonesia and stuff. I think that's the reason why I choose photography because I want to meet a lot of connection. I want to make a lot of connections. Okay, thank you. Is there any question? It's okay, even if it's technique. Mama, jauh, Bas.
I wanted to ask, is there a methodology that you choose on how you post your Instagram photos? Because, you know, obviously a lot of people look at Instagram and they look at Instagram feeds. And is there a particular formula that you use on making sure that your Instagram feed looks beautiful? I mean, because, you know, obviously you want to make sure you're using maybe the same filters, maybe like how, I guess my question is, how do you make sure your Instagram feed always keeps interesting? Do you plan your feed ahead of time? That sort of question.
So in Instagram is greeting is very important, but I never did it because like I don't like it, and like uh, my photos one to another is very different, I think. So I don't usually do it like greeting, but if for to handle a clients for Instagram or for restaurant, or you need to do a greeting, like you do a lot of combinations of your colors because I think that will make interesting, but you need to use uh, some of application before to make you so your Instagram feed before it's like this, you can use it with Fisco too actually, or maybe with Unum, or later you can make your preview on your phone before you want to post it, because like I think it's very important when someone's looking at your page, and then why do they want to click on your photos if your page is not cool? So before you think you want to post something, you need to see the things from the people's eye that want to see. So grid is important, but for me, I never did that because uh, I'm very random and very moody. So like my picture from one to another is very different. So I cannot do that because I just feel it doesn't, it's not me, I think. I'm sorry. Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other question, guys? Okay.
Thank you. Hi guys, my name is Mike. So I have two questions. One is like, obviously this is all very professionally made, visually appealing art with like, like cameras and fancy equipment. My first question is, can you do it all with an iPhone?
Uh, I'll show you what I did with an iPhone. Sorry, it's a long, long way to go downstairs. But yes, you can with an iPhone 7 and upstairs because like they have like portrait mode and stuff. Yes, you can do it, I think. And I did it before when I was in Bandung. So yeah, I think I still can.
Yeah, I ask, from the perspective of a small business that doesn't have money, necessarily to throw into, all the other equipment.
Yes.
And so that leads to my second question. Like, okay, so iPhone 7 and up. Okay, that's interesting to know because I have an iPhone 6. Um, and my second question is, what if I don't want to make my Instagram visually appealing? Do you think you can still like market very successfully? Like, given that Instagram is such a visually dominated platform, like people go to Instagram to look at nice photos. So do you think it's possible to market effectively if your photos are ugly?
Rhetorical question. No, definitely no. But you need to make beautiful pictures if you want to market because people like beautiful pictures, absolutely. And how to make like, especially if you handle a restaurant or maybe a working space, you can do it only with an iPhone actually. At least the client doesn't know, like I mean like your audience doesn't know, because I think like I still like taking photos with iPhone because the iPhone camera is very sharp and it's good for Instagram. Yes, I think it will be possible, especially for restaurant like mostly flat lays doing like with an iPhone. It's not your fault, man. Like uh, sometimes like using a very good camera, it making hard to make pictures good because like you don't understand the camera. But in with a simple phone, like you just need to click. Like it's much more easier, I think.
Right. Thanks for that.
You're welcome. But not for big print. Yes. Yes. Is there any other question, guys, that you want to know? It's okay if it's about technique or everything about camera. If I can answer.
Hi. Hi, my name is Alicia. I want to ask you, do you have sometimes a conflict between what you want to show in the photo and what your clients want to see to get from you? If it's happening, then what do you do?
Okay. So, so life in Bali as a photographer is actually struggling. Not very easy, not very hard. So for me, like if my clients want to do things like what they want to do, like I create the things like my clients wants to. But what if I want to create like what I want? So I just create two image. Like I did what client wants first, and after that, like if you have like a spare time, let's do quick shots, and then yes, like that. Because like if you do it in front of your client, it's not very professional. And if you after you finish the shot with your clients, and then you have an ideas like, can we do this? And if the client says no, you do it in the very end. I think something like that. I think usually, but mostly like I only do what I want like by myself because it's not with the client because it's hard like to penetrate your imagination to them. Is they just like sometimes they just don't like it.
I have one more question. Is it, for example, is it difficult to get what you want from a model? What to do, for example, if you want to show something, but you can catch it, or she cannot show that, for example?
Okay, that's why the in photography is communication is very important. At first thing, like with fashion photography, you need to communicate with the models and make your models feel comfortable with you, and after that they make comfortable with you, they are more comfortable in photos and much more better after you are a friend with them. And after that, if you cannot like tell them like what do you want to show, like you don't, it's only on your imaginations. If you can do the thing that you want to do, show it to her. Like usually I want you to lie down around this floor, and how you, and usually I lie down first and I'll show it to her, like like down like this, and then after that, because for me like the problem is like I'm not very good at English, like English communication, and but I can do like body language. So it's much more easier for me to communicate with the models with body language. I think it's like that, and it will be funny, and the model will laugh. Okay, thank you. Okay, is there any other questions?
Okay. Hi, Faruq.
Hi Raisa.
How do you know my name? Okay. What is the biggest challenge of working with a model that you haven't met before, and how you build trust and how you build a connection between both of you with a certain period of time? You know, what if have you ever experienced any of that? Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
I'm sorry.
I usually never met my model before when I shoot. So after she comes to the place of the shootings, and like we introduce ourselves first, and then just asking like a few questions, like usual questions, and then after that make some jokes usually, and usually because I think like because I cannot communicate very well. Like I usually did something with my body language. I did some stuff like before I want to show, before I want to shoot, I will show them what kind of picture that I make, but I show it with my body, so it will be funny and she will laugh, and then I think that's the easiest way to yeah yeah to make someone laugh. I think make yourself funny. You're welcome. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Okay. So mostly like people in Bali is like more collaborative. Yes. So usually the first thing I do like the photographers, and then after that like we need a makeup artist, and then after that yeah we usually like we give, because like we have a stylist, usually after the shoot the stylist give it back to the brand usually, because I think for but if the brand likes it usually they give it, but I don't know, some of the brand just doesn't give and just asking about the product to back. So if I want as professionally, I will always give it back like to the brand, I think. for me as the cheapest as I can. But yes, but usually I did a shoot before, like I spent like 5 million only, like just for the shoots. But it's I did it for nothing. Just I did it only like because I just want to create the image. Okay, because I think it's worth it. Like if you want to create something beautiful, why not? I think it's good. Okay, thank you so much.
Hello. So one app that I like to use actually, and I was talking to Veronica about this, and I don't know if you heard it before. I don't know if you guys heard of the preview app. You guys should use this. So basically, what it lets you do is that it opens your Instagram feed, and then you can put in as many photos as you like, and you can see the photo before it gets posted on your Instagram. And you can put as many photos as you want as possible to make sure that, let's say, like at least like this, like, and you can drag it at different places to just see whether or not the photo fits on your feed. So make sure your feed is looking really nice. And it's free, and we all love free apps, right? So you guys should use it. Another thing is that if you look at the blog, they actually have a lot of really cool stuff on, yeah, I guess tips on how to make your photography better. So you guys should look into this. I use it quite a bit.
Yes. Thank you.
So, one question from me. Could you give us a tip? Because I used to do a lot of food photography. Hello? Could you give me a tip on how to do great food photography? Like how to take a good one?
Okay, for photography, the most important thing is like you understand your camera. After you understand your camera, you need to understand the lighting. You cannot shoot it on the dark. Yeah, so you need to shoot it on the day. For food photography, like they have only three angles. It's like only 35, for 75, and 90s. It's like from flat lay. It's only those three angles. But how you compose it, how you put the food and the drinks together, that's like how to make it creative. That's the job. I mean, like, that's why you need to make a mood board first, so you know what kind of drink that match the food. So maybe that will help you much more better with a mood board first. I think it's like that. Okay.
Is there any food photography accounts that you follow for inspiration and stuff like that, or?
I'm a food stylist. Like she's a stylist for Starbucks, McDonald's, and stuff. Like, but I think it's very commercials and hard. But for me, like I did food photography is just in Bali actually. So I think food photography is very unique because like sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard because like the challenge is like about the place or the restaurant and the food, what kind of colors of the food and stuff. Like, yes, no, your emails. Sorry. Nggak bisa, harus di email dulu. Oh ya ya, ya ya. Nah, mata rasa. It, sorry, salah. So actually, this is my other account. It's like this is like more grading, like more neat because like we did we did it with preview app, like Mikey told us before, and yes, it's like 90s, 75, and 45. I think, but how you compose it and how you put the stuff together, and yes, mostly like food photography is like 35, 45, and 90s, and then how you compose it, it's the creative thing that you need to process. Like that's the process, like when you want to create, like how you need to find inspiration first, and then after that you follow it at first, but after that, after you follow, you create new things. I think. And yeah, not only copy but copy, and improve. Yes, that's very good. Do you want to ask? I think I think giving a photo a wow factor is like quite a huge challenge for now, because like uh, making beautiful pictures is easy now, but making a photo like wow is need to be like a lot, like you need maybe you need more stories in it, like you need to make it if people sees the pictures, you know, the emotions or the stories of it. I think that's how. Yes, yes. Yes, photography is like music. It's like more connections for from the pictures to the people who see it. Okay. Okay, Veronica. I can hear it. Okay. So I did it like I start my photography at college at 2010 with my friend's camera, and it's like only a landscape photography. So I didn't have client at that time before, until until after 3 years, like I do like landscape photography, travel photography, and wedding photography. At the first time is for free only, and after that, if you have portfolios and you compile it as a PDF, and then you sell it to the clients, and then after that, I have a client, because like some of my friends, like they have a brands. After 3 years, I got one client, and then after that, word of mouth, and then yes, it goes until this now. Okay. Uh, yeah. Oh yeah. The problem is like for Indonesian photographer, like they don't usually compile it like to the PDF, and like people doesn't know like the portfolio that you did. Like I have like a portfolio only, like for me, like myself is only PDF, like for client to see. So the client knows like what kind of photography that I did before, because like I did a lot of kind of photography, like interior, food, and fashions, and pre-wedding also. So like I have like several portfolios. Okay, and thank you. I think that's all. Is huh? Okay. Thank you so much for today, guys. Eh, oh, oh, you have a connected. It's okay. uh, I used to have a website before, but like it's like a company website, but like gimana ya? So the like I'm not in that company again, and then so my website, my portfolio websites is like on developing, and after maybe one more month it will launch. Because like uh, I will make I will not make a website for myself, but like for I think it's better for my company, because like most of my work in here in Bali is mostly like food. So I think it's much more better to make like a website portfolio, but for companies. I think that. Okay. Ding 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 ding. Okay. Hello.
All right, just to close off, I don't know if anyone wants to start a career in photography, but I'm gonna ask Faruq, probably your top advice on people that are starting out, on maybe if they want to, I guess, build a career and all that. Just given the knowledge of what you know and how you close clients and get deals and all that, like, I guess, what would be your top advice? And that's probably the closing of the workshop.
So, usually like, because in Bali, like I handle some of the restaurants. Like usually I make a client by their area. So I make a list of the restaurants in Canggu, Seminyak, Ubud, and Uluwatu. I have the database, and then after that, like I create like a template emails, and after that I send my portfolios. At first time, send your portfolio first. Send the portfolios and with the greetings, and like say what unique about their restaurants. And after that, if after you send the emails, if the clients reply to you, and then after that you send your price list. After you send the price list of your photography, and you have a meeting, and then negotiate with them, like if you have a deal or not. I think for so I think like if you, the first thing first is like you need to create your portfolio is good, and after you have the good portfolio, you can try to email them, because like uh, there's a lot of people who needs there's a lot of brands who needs like photography, I think, but they just don't know, and they're just not brave enough to reach out to the photographers. So you need to catch the balls first. I think it's like that. Thank you so much, guys.
I mean, thank you all for coming to our workshop. um, yeah. Cool. If you have any questions for Faruq, he's still going to be hanging around. And yeah, thank you for coming down. We'll see you next time.